The Gold Coast is famous for its iconic beaches, laid-back culture, tourist destinations and attractions, and its freezing cold, snowy winters. Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is Mr. Yum Yum, and in today's video, I visited Dreamworld to check out Winterfest 2025. Before we start, I'd like to give a quick thanks to Team Yum Yum for supporting my content. Thank you so much. Winterfest is a classic Dreamworld event that runs from the 28th of June to the 20th of July during the school holiday break. During the event, the park is transformed into a winter wonderland with special exclusive offerings including ice skating, tobogganing, special food and drink options, as well as entertainment and meet and greet characters. Is Winterfest worth checking out during your visit to the Gold Coast? Well, let's find out. This event is loosely themed to the quintessential European winter, with German-inspired food, music, and performances, which sounds a bit funny because the Gold Coast isn't the most wintry place in the world. Our version of cold here is when it gets to below 20 degrees and everyone starts putting on puffer jackets. But I have to admit it did feel a little bit wintry today, especially given the overcast weather. We arrived quite early, around 10 o'clock, to get there in time for one of the shows, which usually takes place in front of the Dreamworld Globe, but today was moved under the Main Street foyer due to the rain and drizzly weather, which is understandable. You don't want the dancers slipping around and falling over. The performance was good. The dancers at Dreamworld are very energetic, and I always admire how they sort of punch above their weight, putting on performances and shows. I do feel bad that the shows here don't really draw as much of a crowd as some of the other parks, and I'd be curious if there were any changes they could make to kind of draw more people in to watch the shows. Although I have to admit it was a little bit confusing to understand what was supposed to be happening. Obviously they're doing some impressive dances, but it was hard to tell how exactly it fit into the theme of the event. I guess they were wearing their costumes and everything, and some of the songs were kind of loosely wintry themed or Christmassy themed. But yeah, a little bit confusing, I guess. Most of Winterfest's offerings are located towards the back end of the park. Here you'll find a little village area set up with some food stands and the tobogganing, some photo opportunities, and the ice skating rink, which is inside the entertainment venue. There were a few things to choose from here. Not all of them were open when we arrived at the park, and overall I wouldn't say that the area is set up particularly well for rainy days. There is some shelter, but it doesn't really protect you from the rain, which kind of leaks through, and the seating was sort of wet and there wasn't really anywhere to sit. In this area you can also toast marshmallows, which is a fun little activity, although it did seem a little bit expensive, the prices being $5 per marshmallow. I'm not sure how large the marshmallows were, but still that is quite a lot of money to toast one marshmallow for. I'm sure they'd make a lot of money by selling the marshmallows, but I'm not sure if I would be willing to pay that much for one marshmallow. We did try some of the pretzels that they had available here, and they had a few different flavors to choose from. In the end, we went for the cinnamon flavored pretzel and the Nutella flavored pretzel, and both were very nice. It was a comforting meal choice to have on a relatively cold Gold Coast day. There is an all-day dining pass available, which gives you access to 6 of the gourmet selections that are available around the park, and this costs $59.90. It sounds expensive, but I guess when you think about what you actually get from it, it's probably worth it, especially if you're sharing it with some other people and you want to try a selection of different options. I personally love trying lots of little things. I would probably go for that if it was my first time visiting the event. There was also a special Winterfest drink available called Hot Choc, not sure how to pronounce it, and it was a little bit confusing ordering this because they also have a regular hot chocolate available on the menu, so it wasn't entirely clear what was different about this particular drink. I did ask the person at the stand and they told me that it was a bit creamier. It was very tasty, but essentially it was just a nice hot chocolate. This drink is also available at the front of the park at the Green Bean Cafe. They've also moved the ice slide to this end of the park. Last year it was located near Steel Taipan, and I think this is a much better position for it in the park. It makes sense to sort of localize the event to this one area, although if I'm being completely honest, I do think that this is kind of the uglier end of the park. I'm not crazy about how this end of the park looks. I was sort of hoping this year that they might centralize it more towards the front of the park, the same way that they did for the Street Food Festival, which I think they did incredibly well. I don't think there's anything wrong with the offerings for Winterfest. I just think that that end of the park isn't really somewhere that most people will walk to. The ice skating rink is also available here, and this is included if you're an annual pass holder, but you do have to reserve a space before you arrive at the park, because it is quite a popular offering for Winterfest. Although, when we got there earlier in the morning, there weren't very many people there. It was quite chilly inside the ice skating rink area. It had a really nice atmosphere. It looked like a lot of fun. I'd love to try the ice skating one day. This year there's also something called Winterfest Quest available, which is a little adventure that you can take by scanning a QR code and purchasing some kind of booklet or pamphlet or something that you take around the park and solve little mysteries and riddles and things. And it also includes a ice cream treat, a mystery packed show bag, and a little cuddly toy friend. I think it's cool that they have these options available. Leaving this little village area, we walked through an area that's usually closed off at Dreamworld, which is, I believe, where the old Trolls Village was located, which was a very strange attraction that existed for a short time at Dreamworld. And this space is usually not used except during the events, and I think it has a lot of potential to be quite a cool space. They could definitely utilize it more for future events. For Winterfest, it was kind of just a space with some seating and more of a transition space, I guess, leading to the next activity, which is Belinda's Arctic Adventure. This is a fun little addition that takes place during Winterfest. It's a walkthrough attraction where you walk through a little maze that's themed to the Arctic with some animals such as polar bears, penguins, and other iconic Arctic creatures like seagulls and unicorns. Hello, unicorn. I really enjoyed this little walkthrough attraction. It's very atmospheric with the fog and this sort of ambient music playing. I'm a big fan of the walkthrough attraction that they do each year for the Happy Halloween event, which they use in the same building. I can definitely see this being a fun activity, especially for younger visitors. It's just a small little room, but it's fun weaving and winding and ducking around, exploring this little space. Next, we made our way to the Dreamworld Theatre to check out the new show for this year, Kenny and Belinda's Snowy Day. This was a cute little show. It's obviously targeted at children, and I don't think I'm the target audience, but I enjoyed it. I thought it was quite fun, and it had a little storyline where Kenny accidentally makes a ballerina disappear and they have to bring her back. There's a few little dances and some songs. It seemed like they had either come up with some original songs or they had rewritten some existing songs to fit in Kenny and Belinda's names and sort of rework the lyrics, which was quite funny. Again, this was a good show and the performance did a great job. And it's a shame there weren't more people there. I always feel a little bit awkward watching the shows and performances at Dreamworld because they don't draw much of a large crowd, and I don't think I'm the ideal audience. The shows and performances do take place a couple of times throughout the day at Dreamworld during the Winterfest event, which is definitely worth checking out, especially if you're a family, and it is definitely targeted towards more of a family audience. That was basically all of the Winterfest offerings for this year. It's mostly the same as it was last year. There wasn't any foods exclusive to Winterfest that really grabbed my attention, or anyone else in my group, so for lunch we actually went to Jane's Rivertown restaurant, which is always fantastic. It's a great option to experience during a visit at Dreamworld, and it's very good value. The food is high quality and genuinely quite tasty. We had a ride on Jungle Rush and Murrissippi Motors, which was fun as always, and that sort of wrapped up our day at Winterfest. So, should you visit Winterfest at Dreamworld? I think definitely if you're a family or if you've got younger visitors in your group as well, there's a lot there that appeals to more of that family audience, such as the tobogganing, the ice skating, and the shows and performances. And I think the all-day dining pass as well is quite a fun option if you want to sort of visit around the park and try a few different things. I wasn't quite as impressed with it as I was with the Street Food Festival, which took place earlier in the year, and it also didn't quite live up to the same level as the Happy Halloween event, which is my absolute favorite time of year at Dreamworld. But I do think it's worth checking out, and it's very cool that the parks offer these events during the school holidays. I hope you enjoyed watching this video. Please feel free to leave a like, a friendly comment, or subscribe for more. And before we finish, I'd like to give a very special thank you to the members and sponsors of Team Yum Yum. A very special thank you to the Team Yum Yum members: Lee Donald, SWCV1, Randall, Maloney's Coasters, Carrie Jekin, Kai on the Internet, Audrey Allen, Oogie Boogie, Theme Park Ogre, Jordan Casey, Germ, Senpai's JP Blue Dog, Medic Brick, Movies Like Everyone, and Johnny Boy 175. And a very special thank you to the first ever Team Yum Yum sponsor, Koala75. Thank you so much to all the Team Yum Yum members and sponsors for your very kind and generous support, which really means a lot to me. I'm very grateful that you enjoy my content enough to support me in this way. And for anyone who would like to become a member or a sponsor, you're more than welcome to do so. This will give you access to new videos early. You also get a special shout out and thanks at the end of my videos, a Yum Yum sticker next to your username, some emojis to use in the comments, and last but not least, a special custom hand-drawn illustration by me to suit your very needs and requirements. And as an additional way to support the channel, I also have the Team Yum Yum sponsor option available for a slightly additional price. And as an extra perk, I'll animate your character doing a little dance as well, which will appear on screen. But if you're not in a position to support the channel by becoming a member or a sponsor, you can also leave a like, a friendly comment, or subscribe for more. Thank you so much again for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.